Hey guys, Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlschase.com. Today I want to talk about why women like to be dominated in bed. Now, there's someone out there who's going to say, not all women. Okay, we'll give it like 1% of 1%. But the vast majority of the women who I have talked to about sex, had some sort of sexual relations with, or had straight up fucking sex with them, across the board, they all want to be dominated. Now, some of them take some time to allow you to be dominant of them in bed, whether that means being really rough, whether that means spitting on them, choking on them, spanking them, calling them your dirty little slut. All extremes and all vanilla expressions of domination in bed, women like to some degree, and if they trust you, and trust is a huge part of it, but and that actually could be one reason too, that just hit me, is that if a woman is allowing you to be dominant over her, it means she trusts you, because there are some stigmas that she might want to avoid you attaching her with. If a girl wants to be dominated in bed, she doesn't want to be slut-shamed, and so, you know, a girl's not going to come out and say, yeah, I'd love to be fucking slapped around and choked in bed, because some guys are going to judge her for it, or some other women are going to judge her for it, or maybe she even has some self-judgments about being dominated in bed, and it's something that she logically finds degrading but enjoys it when it's in bed. And this can even extend to some aftermath reflections and feelings about being dominated. As a woman will be, sometimes I would be in bed with a girl and be really rough, and she fucking loves it, but then afterwards she kind of feels weird. She's like, yeah, I half liked it, and then half of me, I don't know, felt like I was a piece of meat. And it can make her feel very vulnerable for whatever reasons, religious, societal, personal. There's a lot of stigmas and a lot of insecurities surrounding a woman's enjoyment of being dominated. And even with men, is sometimes when I was learning how to be dominant, I would be fucking girls really hard, and I'd see them getting really like fucking just like I'm just this beast who's ravishing her. And when I first started, I was like, hey, are you okay? Is everything fine? They're like, oh yeah, no, I really like it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We're good. And I would have a little bit of self-judgment of like, oh, am I weird? Am I evil? The fact that I like inflicting pain and really just destroying her pussy and her body. And then eventually you get over that. But there is a lot of stigma surrounding this, so I'm sure someone's gonna watch this and they're gonna, I don't know, that's not true, girls don't. Look, vast majority of my experience, women like being dominated. So why do they like being dominated? I don't have a fucking PhD in psychology, but I would say that I understand the female mind pretty well, and I've had women explain to me their perceptions of why they enjoy being dominated in bed, and then based on my patterns that I've observed in female behavior, these are the reasons why. So the first is confidence. Now, how does you dominating a girl in bed show confidence? Well, there's a lot of men out there who I know from women telling me and guys talking to me, they don't feel totally comfortable being dominant over a woman for a variety of reasons. Maybe they believe that, oh, I need to respect her, which is kind of strange. I don't know why we associate I respect you with I'm not going to do this thing that's extremely pleasurable to you. Again, it's just mainstream programming, and it's not always conscious. You know, a lot of us just have insecurities around sex, and so maybe a guy is thinking, oh, I shouldn't do that to her, maybe because she's not that kind of girl. And if you don't have that programming in you, what that shows a woman is that I know what girls really want deep down in secret in the confines of our, sacred space in the bedroom. But also what I think is going on and why it shows confidence and why I chose that particular word is that I'm not seeing you as some girl I'm putting on a pedestal, some girl who I am intimidated by and who I believe needs to be treated very specially, and not out of respect. I think a lot of guys mistake their white knight mentalities. It's not that you respect her, it's that you're afraid of being a man and being totally dominant over her, and so you're showing a lack of confidence when you're not willing to go that far with a woman. Now, obviously, there's some consent issues, and there's the familiarity and trust issues. Like I said, you have to build it up. Sometimes your first time with a girl, she's totally cool to go crazy. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. I totally understand that. But the confidence of being dominant in bed is what's going to turn a woman on. So there's obviously the physical aspect of you just being really strong and fucking her well, and I'll get to that in a second. But for women, a lot of their sex is happening here, and for men too. But a lot of the sex is happening here. She wants to get fucked here. And what's going to make her feel really pleasured is that she knows she's with a guy who doesn't take her too seriously, not in the sense of like, oh, you know, you're just a woman. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that he's not taking her so seriously that he's not able to fully express his masculinity, and he's not afraid to unleash his inner beast and sex demon. He's not lacking, because confidence is in one way an assurance in yourself, but also it's a lack of non-assurance. It's a lack of fear. So you're in bed with her and you're not afraid to go hard. You're not afraid to pull her hair or spank her. You're willing to, you know, do that. And then you see obviously how she reacts, and she's enjoying it, and then you keep doing it. If not, you stop. But it's the knowledge that, oh, this guy is confident in his sexuality to express it and to unleash it. And that's really sexy. And also, it shows a confidence built up through experience. If you're doing this, you usually know it's because a lot of girls you've been with know it. And so if a guy is going to be dominant, not only physically, but like he just grabs her and moves her to another position, you know, he's not like, hey, can you get on your knees? He's like, boom, boom, grabbing her, moving her around, right? Again, paying attention, seeing if she's comfortable, but he's in charge. And so that's gonna show confidence, and that's gonna make the orgasm happen here of like, oh, this is a real man. Yeah, moving my body around, fuck me hard. And so that's gonna get her wet. It's kind of like if she sees a guy who's walking with a lot of swag, or who speaks confidently and clearly and articulately, or he has the confidence to look her in the eyes. This says a lot about him as a male in general. It shows him as a overall dominant man. And then in the specific confines of the bedroom, if he's being really in control and dominant, then that just shows confidence on a sexual level, and it's gonna turn her on. So it's more about fucking her here than it is any physical things. It's the physical expression that is transmitting to her the knowledge that he's a dominant male, so he's a strong man who's worthy of getting in my pussy and possibly impregnating me. Because we always want to, on some level, go back to the biological, like why is she choosing me as a mate to combine his genes with mine and create an offspring? So it shows a lot of confidence. Now, it also shows control, which is a little bit of an offshoot of confidence, but it's more about her losing control than you being in control, because it's the like the master-slave dynamic of, is it Hegel? Yeah. So what Hegel talked about is that you have the master-slave dynamic. The slave in this instance, not in any other instance, so don't take it wrong, is where the woman is consenting to his mastery over her and is willingly giving him control of her body. Now that's gonna, again, make her feel lesser, but the reason why women wanna feel lesser, not in a overall value way, but in a sexual way, is because she wants to let go of control. Now, what reason this is, I don't know. It's just something I've seen, and it's a pattern, and maybe this is some confirmation bias, but it just seems to me totally as a indescribably certain pattern of female sexuality, is that they want to let go of control because the woman just wants to experience everything. And if she's trying to control things, when you're trying to control things, you lose a little bit of, not the pleasure, but you lose a little bit of the just let go feeling. Whereas when you're in control as the man, for instance, this just gives us, I don't know, some sort of pleasure. Like I'm constructing this according to my blueprint. You're leading, and you're creating this. Sex is a pillar of some creation that you are in control of, and so it communicates all these things like confidence and then strength, we'll get you in a second, which is more just like the physical stuff. But she wants to just let the experience go. And the best way I could explain this is basically the woman, she needs to be very careful with herself. She needs to be careful with her reputation and with her attitude at her job, with her social circle, out on the street. She always needs to be very protected for obvious reasons. The world is kind of a dangerous place, and she wants to be respected, and she wants to be seen as a respected peer in her communities. And the moment she enters this room, this sacred space of sex with her mate, her lover, her boyfriend, her husband, whatever, she can just fucking let go. And so she can lose control. So they like it because it gives the guy control, but also the dichotomy is reflected on the other side, where the girl can lose control and she can stop worrying. She can stop worrying about her job. She can stop worrying about her family, whatever it is, she can just enjoy the moment. And when you lose control completely, that's kind of like, it's kind of like why we like to drink, or for some people do drugs. It's because you can just fucking like lose control. You can get drunk and you can be like, I don't give a fuck about anything. I'm just dancing, I'm just enjoying things, right? But for some people, when you're sober, it's like, okay, I'm aware of a lot of things. But in bed, this is basically her equivalent of getting drunk. She can get drunk on cock, drunk on dick. She can just let go completely, and she can allow him to control the experience, and hopefully he's doing it technically well in a way that is going to make her feel like she's getting well fucked. But also it's just gonna allow her to fully put her consciousness on, how am I just gonna enjoy this so much more? I can just be free and just lick my lips, and I can grab his dick, and I can just feel him fucking pressing against my ass and pounding me. Is she just fucking lets go. So it's a lack of control, or a loss of control, that she willingly gives to this man because of who he is. He deserves to have the control over her. And then it allows her to fully experience sex in the most encompassing and fleshed out way that she could possibly want to and hope for. And the last is strength. Now this is more of just the biological animal to animal dominance thing. This guy has the physical strength to manipulate me. He has the mental strength to control what's going on. He has the strength of his mind and of his confidence. But also, let's say you dominated her in the seduction. You were very cool, you're very charming. You were always like, okay, let's meet here at this time. She wants to let go through the whole thing. So the sex is just a completion of the seduction. I always like to talk about sex is the defining like full circle experience of the sex. So you were dominant in meeting her, asking for her number, setting up the date. You were on the date. You knew how to control conversation. You knew how to control the emotions in a non-manipulative way, in a leadership way. And that requires strength of the mind, but also strength of the body. And so when you're grabbing her, pulling her down, telling her, I want you to fucking take this dick like a good little slut, and you have no problem being dominant in any way, physically, linguistically, verbally. Your vibe is just feeling like this is a real man, this is a big man. Even if you're not physically big or you don't have a big dick, you can still give her the experience of getting fucked by a big guy, because that just seems to be the way it is. The woman wants to feel small, she wants to feel vulnerable, and the man wants to feel big and he wants to feel strong. And when you combine those energies, that feminine and masculine energies, she's gonna feel like she got well fucked by a strong man who's in control and who's confident in his shit and in his dick. Okay. Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlschase.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please follow me on Instagram. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. I'll see you very soon.